This exhibit seriously had me tearing up. I went to the Legion of Honor a few months ago on one of their free admission Saturdays, and I had seen this exhibit but had only recognized Manet's name of the two and didn't feel it was worth the $35 to explore his exhibit. But I've since learned that Marisol was so much more than just a muse to Manet, and she was incredibly influential on the entire Impressionist movement. Seated at the front of the balcony, Marisol posed for Manet for the first time since their meeting at the Louvre. Marisol then paints her sister from the inside of the balcony, offering us a different perspective. And this painting began a dialogue between the two that they would continue for the rest of their art careers. The two developed a very close working and personal relationship as seen in their paintings. The composition of The Railway by Manet was inspired by Woman and Child on the Balcony by Marisol. Following The Railway, Marisol then revisited this composition a final time. All three paintings feature a woman in dark clothing and a child looking out through a fence. Being a studio artist, Manet's compositions often look more overworked and a little bit more perfected, while Marisol was trained as a plein air landscape artist. Painting outside and in the moment meant that she had a lot of these quick, confident brushstrokes that give her paintings a natural, dreamy, wispy effect. Being a woman in the late 1800s, she was feeling the pressure to marry. With that pressure threatening her art career, Manet began to convince her to marry his brother, who then courted her and is depicted in her paintings as being a wonderful father to their daughter Julie. This unfinished piece of his niece on a watering can was painted by Manet and paired beautifully with this depiction of her daughter by Marisol. Marisol put out these two paintings titled Summer and Winter, and within the year, Manet had begun working on Spring and Autumn, which actually went unfinished due to his death. This exhibit is the first time all four of these paintings have been united. Towards the end of his career, Manet wanted to focus a lot of his work on painting contemporary women, a theme that was already largely tied to Marisol. And while Manet's perspective comes from observation and erotic interests, Marisol's paintings showcase personal experience and understanding of what it's like to be a woman in society, which can even be seen in paintings like these. Where Manet's is a much more zoomed-in perspective from the heart of Paris, Marisol's was of the same view but from her own street where bourgeois women were able to stroll unaccompanied. I think these paintings are also a great representation of their difference in training. Marisol's definitely looks more like a landscape painter. These were my two favorite comparisons in the entire exhibit, and this piece by Manet was considered his most Marisoan painting of his entire career. I walked away from this exhibit realizing that everything I loved about Manet was actually influenced by Marisol. It's wild that today she's known mostly as being Manet's muse when she left a bigger impression on Impressionism than Manet himself. This exhibition is leaving the city on March 1st, so if you can get your hands on tickets, I would absolutely 100% recommend going.